Hello and welcome back to Bible Buddy Forever. We are on day 90 of our Psalm series and we will be reading chapter 90 from Book of Psalms. Thank you so much for tuning in today and let's get right into it.
Thinking of you.
This is going to be book 4 from the Book of Psalms. There's one more book we need to finish and we will be finishing 150 Psalms. So book 4 is from 90 to 106. Of God and man. O Lord, you have always been our home. Before you created the hills or brought the world into being, you were eternally God and will be God forever. You tell man to return to what he was. You change him back to dust. 1,000 years to you are like one day. They are like yesterday, already gone, like a short hour in the night. You carry us away like a flood. We last no longer than a dream. We are like weeds that sprout in the morning, that grow and burst into bloom, then dry up and die in the evening. We are destroyed by your anger. We are terrified by your fury. You place our sins before you, our secret sins where you can see them. Our life is cut short by your anger. It fades away like a whisper. 70 years is all we have, 80 years if we are strong. Yet, all they bring us is trouble and sorrow. Life is soon over, and we are gone. Who has felt the full power of your anger? Who knows what fear your fury can bring? Teach us how short our life is, so that we may become wise. How much longer will your anger last? Have pity, O Lord, on your servants. Fill us each morning with your constant love, so that we may sing and be glad all our life. Give us now as much happiness as the sadness you gave us during all our years of misery. Let us, your servants, see your mighty deeds. Let our descendants see your glorious might. Lord, our God, may your blessings be with us. Give us success in all we do. Let's take a few minutes to think about the psalm that we just read. Chapter 90 of God and Man. This poem is a beautiful representation of who our God is, of what kind of a depth and might and greatness God truly has versus who we are as men. It is beautifully described in this poem, and I want to compare to you each of them. For example, for God, time is nothing. 1,000 years to God is like one day. They're like yesterday, already gone, like a short hour in the night. So imagine, for God, 1,000 years is almost like an hour. And how long do we even exist on earth? It clearly states that we are merely 70 years. We merely live here for 70 years. And if you're strong, 80 years. If you're lucky, over 100. That's all. If you compare the number 100 to 1,000, it is nothing. Again, God existed before the creation of the world, before the mountains, before anything else on earth that was created by Him. He was there before we ever existed, before the thought of us even existed in the mind of God. And we are just like how a flower that is in full bloom during the day and at night we're just gone. Like that's how much we are when compared to who God is. That's how small we are when compared to who God truly is. And we are fighting against God. And we are trying to tell God that we are better than Him. Do we even have the power to do that? This same God that created everything and made everything to be into existence, to have these planets, to have these, scheduled hours, this rhythm that is there in this world. For Him If he gets angry at us, imagine what he can do to us. Imagine what he could do to us. He's being so merciful even though he has all that power. And that's what this chapter is truly highlighting. If you read verse 7, it says, "We are destroyed by your anger. We are terrified by your fury. You place our sins before you, our secret sins, where you can see them." The God that created everything, it doesn't matter what kind of sin we do, even if it's in a secret place, even if everybody around you doesn't know that you are the kind of person that did that kind of sin. No judgment here. This God is watching over you. He still wants to be merciful to you, and he wants you to be in that grace that Jesus gave us by his sacrifice on the cross. He loves you. Despite him being such a great God, despite him having everything that he could have, and he still created us, and even though we are just like a piece of dust in front of him, God is willing to give that mercy to you only because he loves you, only because he cares so much for you. So I really want you to understand, even though you might be this tiny and this small in front of God, you mean so much to God. You are loved by God, and God is calling you by name and asking you to go back to him, to be in communion with him, to have that fear of God. Just comparing every single thing that I just said, just comparing the things that is being described in this poem, it gives you the majesty, the glory of our God. And for us to not even fear him, that's such a shame. In verse 10, it says, 70 years is all we have, 80 years if we are strong. Yet all they bring us is trouble and sorrow. Life is soon over and we are gone. That's all. We are here only for 80 years. 100 years if you're lucky, and we are gone. We are gone. But God had a bigger plan, because he doesn't want us to just go away like that. He doesn't want us to die like that. He wants us to live with him forever. That is why he created human beings. That is the kind of bond that he wanted with us. So if we don't have fear of God, or if we don't even know or acknowledge what kind of a God we have, we need to really have the humility to ask God, pray to God if you can, to just allow him to show you who he is if you don't know who God is, to have that connection, that deeper connection that God truly wants to have with you. It says in verse 12, "Teach us how short our life is, so that we may become wise." Again, the same God that created us is able to teach us, is able to show us the things that we need to recognize and realize while we live on earth. Because we only have the chance to recognize and acknowledge God when we are living here on earth. If we don't acknowledge him here, there's no chance for us later on. With the life that he's given us, the body that he has given us, he's asking us to go find him, that he will find you when you are dead. During your life after death, God will find you if you find him now. Time is short. He's asking you to wake up and go back to him. God truly wants you to have that relationship. God truly wants you to be in life and in union with him. And then there's a beautiful message of hope. If you look at verse 15, it says, "Give us now as much happiness as the sadness you gave us during all our years of misery." The same God that is making us go through a hard time on life, because he wants to make us wiser. He wants to make us understand certain things, certain laws about this world. And when we go through negative situations in our life, that's when we grow our character. When he's allowing us to go through those bad times, there's also a good time that's coming. And that's the hope that this part of the verse is telling us. And it's telling us, "Let us, your servants, see your mighty deeds. Let our descendants see your glorious might." Lord our God, may your blessings be with us. Give us success in all we do. The same God that created this world, this universe, that gave you life, that gave you this beautiful body, that gave you everything that you have here on earth, is able to do beautiful things for you, is able to take away your misery and give you success, and is able to make you happy and prosperous on your life here. He will do it for you as long as you stay with him. and have that true yearning from your heart to be in connection with him. All right, I will stop here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Tomorrow is Psalms 91, one of the biggest and most famous Psalms. So I hope that you will join me tomorrow. Have a beautiful day and take care. Bye.
Thinking of you.